Today I'm going to be talking about the Zeno GUI, which is a very popular add-on for Gunbot. Now what it does allow you to do is have a much nicer interface for Gunbot that allows you to visualize a lot of your trades, and it has some cool hidden features that I'm going to talk about in this video. But anyways, today I'm just going to be telling you guys what it does and if I think it's worth your money. Anyways, first off, I do want to say that personally I think that Zeno GUI is definitely for advanced Gunbot users. I would wait until you have Gunbot, really see if you like Gunbot and you understand how to use it, and then I would consider getting Zeno GUI if you really like Gunbot, because I think it makes a lot of the things that us advanced users do every day, it makes a lot of those a lot easier, and especially once you get into some more complicated things, it can really be a nice thing to have. Anyways, first let's go over the general interface of Zeno GUI. So one thing it does allow you to do is edit pair settings and turn pairs on and off on the fly very easily. So first off, you see this interface right here. So you see the pair name on this side and the strategy, then you see the balance, for the coin that it's trading against and the amount of the coin that's being traded. Then you have the prices or the target prices. So this is what the bot is looking at in order for that price to hit to either buy or sell. So this depends on your strategy if you're using TSSL, Bollinger Bands, anything like that. Then you have profit and loss. I think this does work since it just uses your previous trades to track profits. So that's a pretty cool thing to have. Then you have the ticker, so that's just the prices. And finally, you have this over here where you can turn the pair on and off, which is really cool. And if you hold shift and click it, then it turns all of the pairs on and off. So let me just show you that real quick right here. So if I hold shift, then click it, they all turn off. That's a very cool feature. If you want to, for some reason, turn off all your pairs very fast. Next, you have these three options right here. So you can see the profit on that pair. I don't really use this that much. Then you can see the console log of that pair. So whenever it's trading, you can see what the bot is doing. And if you do have an error message or something, you can see that here. And then obviously you have the chart, which is, in my opinion, the most useful about it, because then you can really see all of the trades that it's made. So it'll just drop these little green and red dots where you can see all the trades that it's made. Now obviously this is not the bot trading here, these are just some of my trades, but it can be very cool to see what the bot is doing, and it can really help you get your settings a lot more specific to what you want to do. Obviously I would use something like Alistair's script in order to get those settings perfect, but then this can be really helpful to actually see everything that Gunbot's doing, along with all these lines to visualize where it's actually going to buy and sell. Then once you have everything set up here, you can change the period, and then you can also change the settings for that coin. So something cool that you can do is you can set the overrides for that coin. If you guys don't know what overrides are, overrides allows you to change individual settings for that coin. So let's say I want to use TSSL on all four of these coins, but I want the trading limit for USD tethered to Bitcoin to be a little bit higher. So say I just wanted to trade, $20 on these coins, but I want to trade $100 on this coin, then I can add an override where I can put in the setting, trading limit, enter in my value, and then save it to the pair. This is actually in the normal version of Gunbot, but I think they've sort of covered it over with a lot of other features. So I think it's very cool that they have an easy access to the overrides right here. Then something else that's very cool is that you can also assign groups to these things. So if you have a setting that you want and then you save it, then you can also add it to groups. So say I want all of these to be Bollinger Band groups. So I have two pairs that I want to be Bollinger Band and two pairs that I want to be gain. Then I can add them to the group. And then, this is probably the coolest feature in my opinion, is you can run multiple instances of Gunbot. Now, I do want to say a few warnings about running multiple instances. Since Gunbot is using one API key, you want to make sure to not have too many instances. I would recommend only having 2 or 3 at the most. Even so, I would be careful because it does check your API key a lot more, and there's a limit to how much it can happen on most exchanges and also on Binance, which is what I use. So instances can be a very, very cool feature though, because it does allow your pairs to update faster. So if you are trading a coin like ADA, which is very high volume here, you can see even on 1 minute candles or 5 minute candles, it looks very, very volatile. Then maybe I'd want to make a new instance for ADA and VEN, since they're both very high volume. And then I can make it so it has 5 minute candles and it updates very, very fast. And then I can have another instance for these coins that are 15 minutes since they're lower volume. And then, you know, that can balance it out and you can get some really cool results with multiple instances. So that is something I really, really love about Zeno GUI, because if you're not using a GUI, and some of you guys may know this, it is an absolute nightmare to create multiple instances with Gunbot. At least in my opinion, it's very complicated, and that is something this makes a lot simpler, and that's a huge selling point in my opinion for Zeno GUI. Now, obviously, you can change the rest of the settings for, you know, all of your other stuff up here on these settings. You can change all of the strategy settings here, and you just get a nice, you know, interface for that. It's pretty basic. They all sort of look the same. Now, something else that's cool is you do also have a Telegram bot that comes with this. You guys may know that Gunbot does come with the Telegram bot itself, but you know, it's always cool to see its own software like that. And I think the Telegram bot does allow a few other features, but personally I haven't used it. You can see an overview of your bot. You can see the pairs you have trading. I think you can change the pairs if I'm not mistaken. You can see your trades, your balances, and you can change Gunbot settings. I think a few basic Gunbot settings at least. So that's something very cool that you guys should look into. This does, you know, have its own Telegram bot, so you can check trades from your phone, you know, change settings on your phones and things like that. So overall, I think Zeno GUI is very, very useful for a, you know, very prominent Gunbot user, someone who uses Gunbot all the time, knows how to change settings, wants to use multiple instances, maybe wants to be able to change settings on the fly, so they want to have their phone with them all the time, and then, you know, maybe they see Bitcoin's going down a little bit, so they want to change their settings, things like that. Or, you know, they change settings all the time, so they want a nicer interface. And I think this is definitely for them. You know, I think Zeno GUI is a very cool thing to have, but if you don't use Gunbot a lot, it is quite pricey at around $250 for one exchange. So I would make sure that it's really worth the investment for you. And if it is, then hopefully this is a great find for you guys. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and see you guys in the next one.